The air in the Senate Judiciary Committee chamber grew thick with tension, a suffocating silence descending as Adam Schiff's voice sliced through like a blade. "Get him out of here," he bellowed, his face flushed with authority as he jabbed a finger toward Senator John Kennedy. The command reverberated off the ornate wood paneling, a shockwave that seemed to halt the very breath of everyone present. Security guards, their expressions a mix of duty and reluctance, stepped forward, their boots a heavy drumbeat against the polished floor. The room, filled with senators, aides, and a live audience of millions via streaming cameras, teetered on the edge of chaos. But John Kennedy, the soft-spoken Louisiana senator with a mind like a steel trap and a heart forged in rural grit, didn't shrink. Instead, he rose slowly, adjusted his tie with a steady hand, and did something no one could have anticipated. He turned the moment into a defiant stand for truth, a spark that would ignite a movement far beyond the confines of that hallowed hall. The roots of this confrontation stretched back months, to a quiet morning in Kennedy's Capitol Hill office. Amid the usual flood of emails and policy briefs, a handwritten letter arrived, its envelope worn and smudged with the fingerprints of hope. It was from Clara, a single mother from Baton Rouge, her script shaky as she poured out her soul. Her teenage daughter, Emily, was fighting diabetes, a battle that had drained their savings and left them teetering on the edge of despair. "Senator, the insulin she needs costs more than my rent," Clara wrote, the ink blurring where tears had fallen. "I'm scared I'll lose her because I can't afford to keep her alive." Kennedy, a man who'd grown up on a farm where every dollar was earned with sweat, felt a lump rise in his throat. He saw his own mother's struggles in Clara's words, remembered the nights of scarcity that shaped his resolve. This wasn't just another case file, it was a call to action, a personal mission to amplify the voiceless. Across the political divide, Adam Schiff, the committee's chairman, was a different breed. A veteran of Washington's power games, polished by years of high-profile impeachment trials, he prided himself on maintaining order and steering discussions toward his strategic goals, chiefly national security on this particular day. Kennedy's insistence on pivoting to healthcare costs, armed with a folder of constituent letters, felt like a derailment to Schiff. As Kennedy began reading Clara's letter aloud, his voice thick with emotion, Schiff's patience frayed. "This is irrelevant to today's agenda," he snapped, his gavel crashing down like a judge's verdict. "Security, remove him if he doesn't cease." The room buzzed with unease, senators shifted uncomfortably, aides whispered, and the cameras zoomed in on the unfolding drama. But Kennedy, undeterred, pressed on, his voice rising with each word. "If you silence me, you silence the people who sent me here to fight for them." The guards closed in, their presence a looming shadow, but Kennedy raised a hand, a quiet command that halted their advance. "I'll go quietly," he said, his tone steady yet laced with steel, "but not before I finish." Turning to face the audience, reporters scribbling notes, a young aide dabbing her eyes, and the unblinking lens of the live feed, he launched into a speech that would redefine the day. He spoke of Clara's sleepless nights, of Emily's brave smile despite the pain, of a veteran in Shreveport denied benefits after 2 tours, of a small business owner in New Orleans crushed by red tape. Each story was a thread in a tapestry of human struggle, woven with such raw emotion that the room seemed to hold its breath. His voice cracked as he described Emily, whispering thanks to her mother, a child's gratitude amid a parent's failure. "This isn't about politics," he declared, tears glistening behind his glasses. "It's about a little girl who deserves to live, and the millions like her were failing every day." Schiff, caught in the whirlwind of Kennedy's humanity, faltered. The guards, sensing the shift, stepped back, their hands falling to their sides. The chamber, once a stage for partisan theater, transformed into a crucible of conscience. A motherly aide in the back row wept openly, her own child's face flashing in her mind, while a seasoned reporter, hardened by years of cynicism, felt a rare tug at his heart. Kennedy's stand wasn't just a defiance of authority, it was a mirror reflecting the lawmaker's own forgotten oaths to serve. He concluded with a promise that rang like a bell: "I'll fight for them, with or without this seat. Because their voices matter more than mine ever will." The aftermath was a wildfire. The video of Kennedy's ejection and triumphant speech went viral, hashtags like #StandWithKennedy trending worldwide within hours. Clara's story broke through the noise, her tearful interview on a national morning show pulling at the heartstrings of a nation. Public outrage swelled, pressuring Congress to act on insulin costs, and Kennedy, reinstated after a public outcry that even reached the White House, seized the moment. He drafted a bipartisan bill to cap insulin prices, a bold move that drew unexpected allies from both sides of the aisle. Schiff, initially humiliated and defensive, faced mounting criticism and eventually joined a compromised version of the legislation to salvage his reputation. The bill passed by a razor-thin margin, a small but vital victory that brought affordable medication to families like Clarice. Yet the road was fraught with obstacles. Kennedy endured fierce backlash from party hardliners who branded his emotional approach as unprofessional, a liability in the cutthroat world of DC politics. The media dissected his every word, some praising his courage, others accusing him of grandstanding. Late nights in his office stretched into weeks, as he sifted through more letters, each one a plea for help that fueled his resolve. His relationship with Schiff remained icy, but a grudging respect emerged, born from the shared realization that their roles demanded more than power plays, they required heart. Kennedy held town halls across Louisiana, listening to constituents' stories, building a grassroots coalition that gave him strength when the political tide turned against him. Months later, as the holiday season cast a warm glow over Washington, Kennedy traveled to Baton Rouge to visit Clara and Emily. The sight of Emily, now stable and laughing as she hung ornaments on a Christmas tree, brought a rare, genuine smile to his face. The medication had given her a chance at a normal life, and Clara's eyes shone with gratitude as she thanked him, her voice trembling. The experience had transformed Kennedy, too, softening his edges, deepening his commitment to the people he served. In a live address to his constituents just before Christmas, he shared a message that lingered like a quiet promise: we're not here to win battles for ourselves, but for the people who trust us with their dreams. Stand up, speak out, and never let anyone silence your story, because that's where the real power lies, in the courage to care. The camera panned to Clara and Emily, their faces radiant with hope, a symbol that resonated with viewers tuning in across the country. The story of a senator who risked his career for a little girl with diabetes became a rallying cry, inspiring ordinary citizens to demand change, to believe that one voice, backed by unwavering resolve, could move mountains. As the broadcast ended, Kennedy sat back in his office, the letters from constituents piled high, each one a reminder of the fight ahead. But for now, he allowed himself a moment of peace, knowing that Emily's laughter, Clara's tears, and the collective heartbeat of a nation awakened to justice were victories worth every struggle. The journey was far from over, but the seed of inspiration had been planted, promising a future where no voice would be silenced, and no dream left unheard.